Welcome to the DaVinci Resolve Podcast. Good to see you here back where we can just hang out for a little while, talk some DaVinci Resolve shop, what's going on in the world of Resolve, as well as answer your questions that get left on my YouTube channel in comments on all kinds of videos, because sometimes it's just a little easier for me to talk through it and answer it here for you than it is to, respond on YouTube and get a good, thorough response. So that's why I like doing the podcast here. Just another way to help you guys out. Maybe you're driving to work. Maybe you're on the train. Maybe you're just hanging out, chilling in the backyard. I don't know, but maybe you're listening to the DaVinci Resolve Podcast, and I appreciate it. I'm excited to hang out with you here for a little while. Let's just get right into it. What's been going on in the world of Resolve lately? So if you haven't heard, ResolveCon just happened recently. Casey Ferris puts that on the last bunch of years, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. It was awesome. It's always so much fun to get to hang with, the other people that are presenting. It was on, I'm just checking my dates here. It was on the 21st, August 21st through August 24th. So you can catch most of the replays here on Casey's channel. Go on over, check that out. 2 days were stream free and everybody could watch all those sessions. I had a session there. And then there was a VIP session for another 2 days where you got an additional whole bunch of 2 days full of sessions from all of the amazing creators that, participated in ResolveCon. So that was really great. It's always a good time to watch everybody else share their knowledge in DaVinci Resolve. Hopefully one day we could do it back in person again, because the couple years that we did that, it was amazing. It was really great to hang out with everybody in person. But it was awesome this year. I had 2 sessions, and it was a good time. Big thank you to Casey and his whole crew for putting that together. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. In other Resolve news, we just had a release of Resolve 20.1.1, where they addressed a bunch of issues and bugs and things like that people have been running across. And that kind of fixed a bunch of things. I know people still have some questions on some of that stuff, but I put out a little video on that, just kind of highlighting a couple things that were fixed, updated, or whatever. So Blackmagic always working hard to, make things better for us, which is great. They really do a good job, and they turn things around fast, right? I mean, compared to other softwares, like I've got tons of other softwares I use, and I would say none of them update as often as Blackmagic does with DaVinci Resolve here. So thankful that Blackmagic is on top of it. There's still features and things that people want in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm sure that stuff will come. Give them time. It's like this has been a work in progress for a number of years now, and they just keep bringing everything that everybody wants. So keep an eye out for more updates, and if you haven't, back up that database and make sure that you update to the most current version of Resolve. And I've gotten some comments where people are still on like version 17. I mean, you got to update, right? Back up that database. And I don't know if you should just update all the way to 20.1 or if you should go incrementally, because I know the databases get updated along the way too. So I don't know about all that. You want to be careful, but that's why it's good to just make sure you stay up to date with everything. So that way you're not falling behind. You don't run into problems when you finally do go to upgrade. So, all right, let's get into some questions and answers here. The first question here is about recording directly into DaVinci Resolve. And they say, you got to make a video about connecting the Rodecaster Duo to record on DaVinci. I'm getting a clipping noise and I can't figure out how to solve the issue. I'm also using my MV7 mic. I connect it at the preference area, followed your other video, listened to the AI. I can't figure out the issue. It's not my gain or anything on the mixer either. I thought that it's the sample rate, but I'm not sure that you can change that. They're all 48K. So a couple things to try. And I put this in a comment back to them. Take a look at that MV7 mic. You can adjust gain settings on that, I think, through an app. I'm not 100% familiar with these, the Duo and the Rodecaster Duo and the mic. I don't have them, but I just kind of looked them up real quick to learn a little bit about them. And that has gain that you can set in an app. So you want to make sure you take a look at that. You probably also have an input gain on the Rodecaster. So you want to check that and make sure you're at good levels with that. And then you may even have an output gain, I guess you could call it, or level or volume on the Rodecaster. I'm not really sure because I've never used it, but you want to check that. So that's 3 different places you might have a different gain. On top of that, you want to check in DaVinci Resolve because you might actually have your trim level set too high for that track that you're recording to. I linked to a video on that about blown recording levels because you can adjust that too. So it's got to be one of those things. If everything seems to be working good, I would try also just connecting the microphone because you can use that as an XLR or as a USB. It does not need phantom input or phantom power, so you want to make sure the Rodecaster is not sending phantom power to the microphone. That's one of the benefits of the MV7 versus the SMB7. SMB? I think it's SMB7. The SMB7 does need phantom power. So you kind of want to check some of those things and see something's got to be off somewhere. If you're clipping, you definitely got a levels issue somewhere. It could be any one of those spots. Could be the sending the phantom power. You kind of want to check out all those things, and that's where I kind of start to troubleshoot that and figure out where the problem is. Now, the next question here we have on a wrong input color space in DaVinci Resolve 18. So input color, as I get a little ahead of myself there. Luke Mills says, input color space isn't showing up for me when I right click on the clip. I have the free version of DaVinci Resolve. It does not have this option in the free version, or does it not have the option in the free version? Is there a way to get around this? So I'm thinking what the problem is that you don't actually have the color management set up. So you want to do that in your project settings. So I'm looking in Resolve here. If you're just listening in, I'll talk through it here. But if you're watching, you can check this out. So I'm coming into project settings, color management, and I always use DaVinci YRGB color managed. And this allows me to set up a color managed workspace. So DaVinci Resolve is going to manage the color space for me based on, what I select as my option. So I usually use my C100, I use Canon, log, and I set it up like that. If you're not seeing the option to change the color space, you might be on, I believe it's DaVinci YRGB, and it may just be set automatically for you. Or actually you could be on YRGB color managed and then automatic color management. So you've probably got one of the automatic settings turned on there. And that's why you don't have the option to change it, because Resolve's going to automatically look at that and do that for you. So that's probably why you're not seeing the option there to change your input color space. The next comment we had here, it said, prior to version 20, Resolve would always remember your settings for paste attributes, even after copying. I want the option to get rid of that old functionality back. I do not like the new one. So one of the new updates that I had talked about in update video is that the paste attributes remembers your settings. And it did kind of do that before a little bit, I feel like. It kind of did that. Although maybe it was just selecting the options that were in whatever you copied, right? And then that's why it would paste it. So I don't really see it working a whole much different. It's still remember. Oh, well, I guess the difference is, though, when you copy one thing, it'll remember those settings as many times as you paste it. But if you copy something new, then you have to select your options again. So I think that's what they're referring to. And yeah, I mean, I could see it. It's just a different way of doing it. It takes a little more to get used to. I guess a little bit quicker maybe if the old way just always kept the exact same settings regardless of what you copy. So yeah, I hear you. Totally makes sense. It would be nice to have the option to pick which way you want it to work. Next comment, Asia Video Support says, on a video about DRA files, thanks for this, but why is it that when copying used media with media management and exporting a project file, when you open that file, DaVinci can't reconnect to most of the media? Even manually, trying to reconnect or doing a comprehensive search doesn't work. Files that have not been transcoded or moved or renamed, but DaVinci just can't seem to find them. I've got a project with that is 80 gigs with used media and 650 gigs with all media, and I don't need the entire thing archived, just the final 2 timelines. Well, I think when you go to archive your project, it's going to grab everything. Like, you can't just pick 2 timelines. You could export out a timeline, right? And do that, use just the exported timeline and save those files. So then you could always just import it again. It should have everything in there. And that should work. I would test that out. But I mean, it should be able to relink everything up. I don't know why it wouldn't if you've archived your project. It should be able to find all that stuff. It should package it all up together. So I'm not really sure why it might do that. You might want to try, instead of archiving the project, let me just check and see what this is called here. So I haven't done it in a while. Because you've got 2 different ways you can do it. You can export a project where it does not include the media, or you can export a project archive, which includes all the media. So maybe you don't need it. You just export the project. You don't need all the media. So I would try that. See if you can export just the project. And then it should still look for all the media or have the media in there, but it would just be unlinked and not included versus the export project archive should include everything. So if you were to open that up anywhere else, it'll have all the media with it. Or just export out your timeline. I mean, that could work too. Just send out the timelines, you got them, and then you can always restore them if you need to. Next comment on DaVinci Resolve 20 AI Voice Convert. That's one of the new tools here in version 20. The user says it's just level 80888. I tried it. Nope. AI generated voice still sounds bad. One can spot it immediately. Blackmagic has a long way to improve this feature. Moreover, all online AI narrating or text-to-speech models also suck. Not worth the $10 to $20 a month at all. Yeah, I mean, they're not all great. There's certainly room for improvement. I mean, I think we're kind of seeing the first go-around of this stuff, and I think it's going to take time to get better as we move forward. I mean, I don't know. I don't use it all that much, like those AI kind of things. I like the one where it'll model my own voice in case I need to fix something with my own recording or whatever. But yeah, for me, I couldn't see paying for, one of the AI voice models either, only because for the kind of work that I do, I don't need it. Now, if you did do more voiceover type work or you wanted to include, I don't know, a voiceover in like an advertisement or something like that. I mean, it's, it's getting there. Sure, there's always room for improvement. I think some of them are better than others. I think the built-in ones in Resolve are pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I get it. If you know what you're listening for and what you're looking for, of course, you're going to notice that that's an AI voice. A lot of people have no idea what they're listening to. They can't tell the difference. And that's because some people are, receptive to it and some people aren't. So yeah, I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement there when it comes to the AI generated voice stuff. All right, next comment on my DaVinci Resolve 20.1.1 video. The only real feature that I showed and talked about there was the paste attributes thing, because it was specifically bulleted out in their update memo that comes with the download. It said it saved paste attributes a few comments ago. Then it went away. Glad it's back. Sheesh. I don't know. Everybody seems like to say that that was already there or whatever. I don't know. I just saw it on the sheet. I tried it out. I was like, cool. I mean, I use paste attributes all the time. I don't ever notice a difference. Like, it always works fine for me and stuff and save stuff. But yeah, I mean, maybe it was there. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know, Next up, Richie Wayne says, excellent. Exactly what I was looking for. No nonsense. Top job. That's on a video with some easy Fusion stuff where I created a little, picture-in-picture kind of thing like I do with a lot of my videos. I used to do it in Fusion. Now I actually use Jake Whip's templates because they're good, they're quick, and I could just drag and drop it, call it a day. And then just copy it around. But I've been thinking about getting into Fusion a little bit more. I just got to think of like stuff to make. Like, I don't know. I need to watch Casey's videos, go make some stuff in Fusion, then make some videos about it because it's fun. And for beginners in Fusion, I mean, technically I'd be a beginner in Fusion, so could help people out along the way as I learn too. So yeah, so moving on to the next one we hear, how to delete render cache files in DaVinci Resolve 17, which would be the same. Well, they changed it a little bit in some of the new versions, but is it safe to delete these files if I have a project that has not yet been completed? Thank you for your time. So the cache files, you can delete them because if Resolve needs them, it'll just recreate them. But sometimes what happens is like it just, they pile up over time throughout different projects. You end up with more files than you need in there. And especially if a project's done, like you don't need those cache files anymore. And that'll, fill up quick. Like when I did it and made that video, I had 87 gig, but I mean, there's people that have commented that have hundreds of gigs of cache files. So you don't need it. It'll recreate it if it needs it. If you've got a big project and like it's already got a lot of it, you're still in the middle of the project. Now you got to remember it's going to take time to recreate that if it needs it. So you just want to think about that a little bit. Like, do I want to wait for it to recreate it, or do I just want to clean out my cache files? What do you think? And I should probably make a new video about deleting out the cache files using the new way to do it. Because this video in 17, it was different how you did that, but it's a lot easier and more straightforward. And you can see where all those files are and which projects they're associated with. A whole lot easier now in DaVinci Resolve 19 and 20. So yeah, you can delete them. It'll be fine, but just realize it's going to recreate them if it needs them. And that might take some time. Gotta have your cup of coffee in the morning here. Nothing like the DaVinci Resolve podcast and a cup of coffee, right? Another comment on the whole paste attributes thing. Lots of comments on that here. Says, one person, said that feature was included in previous versions. And I just said, I'm not sure why that was specifically mentioned in the brief, if it didn't change. I mean, I don't know if it changed or not, honestly. I don't I don't know if I could tell the difference between how I was using it before and how I'm using it now. Kind of works the same for me. But another comment here is I don't like the latest implementation of paste attributes where the attribute selection resets every single time. It used to remember it. What's wrong with that? Yes, the option to show you on the video helps, but the list would reset always every time something new is copied. So many more clicks, at least in my workflow. Of course, this has nothing to do with Jason. Thanks for the video as usual. Now, I hear you, man. I don't know, if it's causing, more work and you got to click more. Yeah, that's annoying. I agree with that. But I mean, for me, the way I use it, I haven't noticed any changes or more clicking. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If it's working differently for you, I get that, Next comment on easy background in DaVinci Resolve 19. Put a little background behind some text. There's lots of ways to do it. Comment was so simple as most things are just what I was looking for. Thank you. You're welcome. So a lot of things in Resolve are easy once you know how to do it. The hard part is figuring out how to do it, right? And that's why you got me and all these other awesome creators out there that make stuff for you guys so that we can figure it out and then let you know so you don't have to waste your time figuring it out. We kind of nerd out on, getting in there and figuring stuff out. It's kind of fun. Another comment here on how to edit audio effects on single clips in the Edit tab. It says, Dear, is it possible to go with third-party plugin? Because I tried with some of the plugin effects, but I can add the plugin only to the entire track. Yeah, you can put individual third-party plugins on individual clips if you want, or on the entire track. You could do that either way. And it's the same process, whether it's a built-in effect in Resolve or whether it is a third-party effect. Doesn't matter. You just drag and drop it on the clip in the Edit tab, and it should drop right on there for you. So should be able to do it either way. Next comment here on 3 tips to blend together dialogue and music better in DaVinci Resolve 18, but actually, sneak peek here, it works in any version of Resolve. It doesn't even matter if it's 18 or not. Such a great tip. Just dropping the band for frequency made my vocals sit perfectly on top of the background music. Thanks, buddy. So the tip in that video was if you grabbed, for example, in your EQ, point number 4 there, and you made a little cut on your music track in between, say, 800 and 3000, made a little cut in there, that's going to allow your dialogue to come through on top of the music a little bit better. There's a few tricks that I love to use all the time when it comes to music and putting it underneath some background noise. One is that EQ trick where you create some space, right? Because it's not always about volume when it comes to audio stuff. Sometimes we want to create space. You want to push things off to the left, to the right. We want to hear things down the middle. We want music to be underneath dialogue. We're creating space for you to hear different things. Another one is the spatial stereo effect, I think it's called. I forget exactly what it's called. The spatial effect in DaVinci Resolve, and I've got some third-party plugins that do it really well, where it'll push the music out to your right and left channels a little bit more and allow that dialogue to come straight down through both channels. Sounds like it's coming down the middle right at you. So those are two tips there that I love to do when it comes to music, and dialogue works really well. The other one is obviously ducking your music underneath your dialogue. You could do it several different ways, manually, using the ducker, using the sidechain, lots of different ways that you can do that. Another comment here, totally random and not related to DaVinci Resolve, actually, is the Adobe photography plan. They increased their price for Lightroom and Photoshop a while back, but if you were to sign up for a year, I think they held your price. I mean, Adobe's getting expensive, I love Lightroom and Photoshop. I use Photoshop all the time for my thumbnails. I use Lightroom all the time for all my photography stuff. I have hundreds of thousands of photos in there. But it's getting expensive, if you can't write it off, thankfully I can with this, business I got going here. But if you can't write it off, it's getting expensive, So you might want to look into other options too. I know there's some other good options out there nowadays, but yeah, I hear you. Adobe's getting expensive. And that's why a lot of people switch from Premiere 2 over to DaVinci Resolve, because you got the free version of Resolve, which is awesome. But I would recommend upgrading to Studio. I mean, $300 one-time fee forever? $300? Come on. You got to go with Studio. I need some more coffee here. All right, let's go. Next question. This one's on a video, how to make YouTube shorts or TikTok videos in DaVinci Resolve 17. It would be the same in 18, 19, 20, doesn't matter. Now, when you have a horizontal video with the black bars to show more of the frame in a vertical frame, how can I zoom in without moving the whole horizontal footage within the frame? So it sounds like you want to zoom in, but you don't want to move the footage around. I mean, you could use an adjustment clip, right, to do that. So that way you've got your original clip that remains unchanged. How else could you do that? You got the black bars that show more of the frame. I mean, you're going to have to zoom in, right? Unless you just want to shrink it down and show your video small in the middle of a vertical frame. You could do that too. But I guess it just kind of depends on what effect you're looking for, really. Next comment here is a video that I put in a whole bunch of 22 tips, actually, on how to fix the problem of having no audio or no sound in DaVinci Resolve. A lot of fixes I got in there. So if you're having problems, check that out. Video's got tons of views on it. But they said closing and relaunching DaVinci Resolve solved mine. A lot of times it's going to be the input device is set wrong or the output device is set wrong in your preferences. So you're going to want to check that if you're having problems where you can't hear anything out of Resolve. Make sure that, you've got your computer speaker set up right. That's the output on your computer. And then in Resolve, it should, at this point in time, match up and it should work out fine as long as your proper audio output device is selected before you open DaVinci Resolve. Should work out fine then. But if it's not, you want to jump into preferences. I think it's system settings on the top. And then on the left, video and audio I/O. Go down to audio and make sure your output is set to whatever, whether it's an audio interface, whether it's speakers, whatever your computer's set to. And it should be all right there. But sometimes you just need a little restart, Always start with the simple things. Give it a little restart. Coming on DaVinci Resolve 20.1.1 video, it says, my audio is rendering way too low now in 20.1.1. I'm just trying to render, I'm sorry. I am just trying to render just the audio, no video. I don't know how to make it louder. A couple things. You might be using one of the presets, and that could be causing your problem. You want to check your levels, make sure everything looks good inside of Resolve. And when you're exporting, I'm just going to come into the export or the deliver tab here. If I were to, for example, pick one of the audio-only export settings, it's going to load up here for a second. I want to slide on over. We have audio-only. If I click on that, it could be, let's check advanced settings. There's nothing there. Subtitles, that doesn't matter. Let's go to audio. It could be that audio normalization is checked on, and you could be normalizing audio to a lower setting or something. You want to check that, you're using your bus outputs. Maybe the bit depth, you might want to change that. Could be the format. You might want to try changing that. It depends on what your settings are to export out just that audio. So it could be any one of those things in there. Maybe you even want to try some custom settings and just select your own audio settings to export it and give that a try and see how that works out. Because there should be no difference, whether it's version 20 or anything else, it should still export okay for you. Next comment is on the Kramer HLS EQ plugin. It was a free plugin from Waves that I gave away. This was quite a while ago. Actually, I should reach out to Waves, see about giving out some new freebie plugins. Maybe they could work on that for us. But he said, good plugin, but no oversampling, not support for 24, 48 or higher. Yeah, I mean, it's, there's probably other plugins that are better for that, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, it was a freebie. If you got it, cool. I'm going to actually have to reach out to my guys at Waves there and see if I can give away something else for free, because I like to give you guys stuff for free. So stay tuned for that. Let me see what I can do with that. Next comment, DaVinci Resolve 20 quick tip, the secret to invisible jump cuts. Smooth like butter, if you see the thumbnail. Says, I bought the studio version today after a month of playing around with the free version. I'm brand new to video editing, and I will forever be a loyal customer to Blackmagic. Love it. Yeah, that's fantastic. I tell everybody, start out with the free version. If you're just trying it out, if you're new to editing, or if you're thinking about switching from another program, try out the free version. It's so good. And just realize that if you're noticing things might be a little slow and you've got a decent computer, it's probably because you're on the free version, right? Because the studio is going to make use of your whole GPU, whatever setup you got, multiple GPUs or whatever, whereas the free version is not. So studio is always going to run better. Even when I started, when I first got studio, I was on a MacBook Pro, and the free version ran okay. It wasn't bad. But when I got studio, I did notice a nice increase in performance. So studio is always going to run better for you. And I mean, there's just so many more things that are great. Voice isolation as an audio guy, game changer, okay? And then there's just so many other tools that come as part of the studio version that For that one-time price of $300, $295 USD, I mean, you can't go wrong. You know, there's no subscriptions. Once you get it once, you're good forever, and you got 2 licenses for it. So, I mean, you really can't go wrong. Here's a comment on the Ducker. You're talking about the new Ducker in, well, I guess it was Resolve 19. But they said, how can I do the opposite? Like make a muffled instrument that was ducked by vocals unmuffled. Like a good filtered instrument with removed artifacts that is left ducked by the vocals that were present. So I'm a little confused there, but it sounds like there's something in the instrumental or that you want to remove. The way that I would start to approach that is to take a look at the EQ and see if you can find that frequency and then make a cut there and then hopefully kind of get rid of that. So that's what I would do. Start by taking a look at the EQ and see what you can find out there. Here's a comment on the sidechain when that was new in version 19, how they updated the sidechain a whole lot better than it used to be. They said, thank you very much for the cool video. I just did all what you did to get music I'm sorry, I have trouble reading it sometimes. To get your music sound not that strong, as soon as there is some dialogue. But I don't hear any dialogue at all anymore, only music louder, sometimes reacting to the dialogue. What could the problem be? So the problem there is probably you added the sidechain onto the dialogue channel when what you want to do is add the sidechain onto the music channel and have the music channel react to the dialogue channel, and you probably flipped it. You probably had the sidechain on the dialogue channel and it's reacting to the music. So that would make your dialogue quieter when the music's playing. So you want to double check that. That's probably where the issue is there on that one. A comment on 10 new Fairlight audio updates in DaVinci Resolve 20.1. They're always adding good stuff here. The comment is, I'm a musician. Can I use Fairlight to record my instrument? I already have the microphones and the audio interface connected to my computer. I can play/hear. Oh, can I play/hear a click track in Fairlight? Yeah, you could bring in a click track, drop it in a track. Then you can play through. You can hear that click track while you're recording. You can record multiple tracks from your audio interface at once, right into Resolve. You should have no problem being able to do that. You just got to patch things where you want them to go. I mean, I've recorded 32 tracks directly into Resolve at once, from a mixer, and it works out just fine. So you could totally do that, and it should work out just fine. Next comment here on a DaVinci Resolve 20.1.1 video. They say, I'm a beginner. I use the Osmo Pocket 3 and tried to import the clips into DaVinci Resolve 20, but it's just showing media offline. Why? I used 18.5 and it's okay. Please give me advice. Thanks. I don't know exactly why it might not work. Could be the file type. The free version is limited on the types of files it can read, whereas Studio can read a whole lot more file types. If it worked in 18.5, I would think it would work in 20 as well. So I'm not really sure why you might be having that issue. Maybe try converting the file using, a free converter like Handbrake or something like that. That could maybe fix it. That's worth a shot. But otherwise, I'm not really sure why you might be having that issue. All right, here is a good comment that somebody had posted on the update video about 20.1.1. They said, I don't want to be negative. The problem with these videos, like the videos that I make and the other creators make, is it doesn't clarify which version, whether it's paid or free, is being discussed. I mean, I use the free version currently as I navigate the whole editing thing. I know some of the things I don't have access to. The huge DaVinci Resolve watermarks, a giveaway. But updates are good and are always appreciated. Thanks. 100%. Totally get you. Now, I commented back on this and I said, for me, typically everything's going to be in the free version unless I say it's in Studio. So I like to say, if I'm working with voice isolation, it's Studio only. If you want a particular effect, it's Studio only. Now, there's plenty of times that I mess up and I think it's in the free version, but it's not, and people call me out on it. And I make mistakes too. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So yeah, it happens. But in my videos anyway, I assume that you've got the free version, and I try to tell you each time that I show something that's Studio only and let you know that it's Studio only. Just because I think most people have the free version. I think Studio is great. I think you should upgrade because it's awesome. But not everybody can, and that's perfectly fine. So I try to show you ways to do things in the free version and Studio. Sometimes the things are Studio only, but I do try to make that, pretty clear. And they had mentioned that some people do the opposite. They assume you have Studio and they'll just mention when it's in the free version too. So, yeah, so just something to know on my channel. It's usually, you could do it in the free version unless I tell you that it's in studio. That said, I do mess up sometimes. So, you know, what are you going to do? All right. Well, I think that covers a bunch of comments here and questions from you guys. And if you have more comments or questions, you could leave it below this video on the podcast, just Spotify, wherever you're listening to it, or just drop me a comment somewhere on any video. And I'm usually pretty good at getting back to people and helping people out. So a big thank you to all you guys for listening. It was nice hanging out with you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next DaVinci Resolve podcast. See ya.